The man known as the Kung Fu Emperor wore a collar around his neck, tamed into a hunting dog. His name was Danny. When the collar was removed, Danny charged forward, taking down all of his master's enemies. There was no trace of humanity in him. He truly moved like a beast, a dog driven purely by instinct. He could even dodge close-range gunfire using his animal instincts. Danny's master, Bart, was a debt collector. When dealing with defaulters, Danny was his ultimate weapon. On the way back, Bart chatted happily with the people in the car. As a reward, he gave Danny a piece of food, which Danny swallowed like a dog. Danny had a head injury. Back at home, Bart's men handed him a roll of gauze to treat his wound himself. Then Danny returned to his iron cage, eating canned food and punching the punching bag. After repeatedly striking it, the bag tore open and sand spilled out. Danny cupped the sand in his hands, looking apologetic. Danny was reading a book. When he came to a page showing a piano, he froze. Blood dripped from his head. He glanced at the gauze, but didn't bandage himself. Instead, he carefully wrapped the torn punching bag. As Danny's reputation grew, Bart's debt collection work became increasingly easy. He could simply unclasp Danny's collar, and people would hand over the money without Danny having to act. But one day, Bart encountered the ultimate defaulter who knew Danny's weakness. Danny would only attack if the collar was removed. Striking first, the defaulter didn't give Bart a chance to remove the collar. Bart and his men were brutally beaten while Danny watched with a vacant stare. Summoning all his strength, Bart stood up and removed Danny's collar. Danny's eyes changed. Then he charged into the hall, taking down all of the defaulter's men and finally bringing the defaulter himself to the ground. Bart successfully completed the debt collection. They then went to an antique shop for another job, leaving Danny in the warehouse to wait for orders. But Danny's gaze was drawn to a piano. He carefully pressed a key, and a clear, pleasant note rang out. Startled, Danny stepped back. At that moment, a blind man entered. He had come to service the piano. The man called Danny over kindly, encouraging him to sit at the piano and freely touch the keys. Immersed in the music, Danny suddenly became alert and ran down to the warehouse below. Meanwhile, Bart and his two men were being viciously beaten. Danny hadn't heard Bart's signal. Back home, Bart shouted angrily at Danny and locked him in the cage just as a guest arrived.